Donald Trump was just asked whether or not he will be upholding the United States Constitution and require or allow every American citizen and non citizen to enjoy due process rights in the United States of America. And his answer has sent shockwaves across the country because he simply said, quote, "I don't know." Kristen Welker from NBC News interviewed Donald Trump today and asked him whether or not he agreed with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who made clear that citizens and non citizens alike enjoy due process rights. And he said, "I don't know. I'm not a lawyer," despite the fact that the Fifth Amendment clearly enumerates that every individual in the United States of America deserves due process rights, especially citizens, and the United States Supreme Court has on multiple occasions said that non-citizens enjoy due process rights as well. Now, before I continue, this will be a bit of a longer news update, so please consider supporting my work by becoming a paid subscriber to my Substack by clicking the button below, or supporting my work by sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. I can only do this thanks to you. I'm not backed by big corporate sponsors. I'm only backed by your subscriptions and your support, so please consider supporting me today. Now, before I get back into the Trump interview, I do want to talk about how Donald Trump right now is being slammed across the world by Catholic leaders who are coming out and attacking Donald Trump for cosplaying the Pope. "Not funny, sir," wrote 66-year-old Filipino Cardinal Pablo Virgilio David on Facebook. Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who Donald Trump said that he actually favors to be the next Pope, said, quote, "Well, it wasn't good," when asked if he was offended. Father Gerald Murray called Donald Trump's post, quote, "silly. You don't do that." The New York State Catholic Conference responded bluntly, quote, "There is nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President. Do not mock us." Italy's former Prime Minister Matteo Renzi called it an image that offends believers and shows that the leader of the right-wing world enjoys clowning around. This comes as the conclave is getting ready to pick the next pope. Donald Trump favors Cardinal Dolan. Cardinal Dolan is clearly saying what Donald Trump is doing by joking around being the next pope is clearly not right. Now, getting back to the interview with Kristen Welker, folks, there was a lot to cover here. He was asked by Kristen Welker when the economy becomes the, quote, Trump economy, because Donald Trump likes to label the economy as just the Biden economy. And he said, simply put, quote, "There are some parts that are Trump economy, some parts are the Biden economy. The strong aspects, the good parts of the economy, well, they're the Trump economy. The bad parts, well, they're the Biden economy." Clearly not taking any responsibility for the bad parts of the economy and only taking responsibility for the good parts. Donald Trump defended his stance on tariffs, saying that he doesn't think a, quote, beautiful baby girl that's 11 years old needs to have 30 dolls. They can just have 3 or 4. Speaking about Canada, Donald Trump says that as a real estate guy, he sees the United States and Canada as one beautiful landscape divided by an artificial line. However, he added that uniting the two would be costly, claiming, quote, "I don't think the American public wants me to pay $200 billion a year to subsidize Canada." When asked whether or not he would rule out using military force to take Canada, Trump replied, quote, "I don't think we'll ever get to that point," but he did say it could happen with Greenland. Donald Trump said he would consider extending the deadline for a TikTok ban if no deal is reached, signaling his flexibility on the issue. Remember, there was a deal in place. China had agreed to a deal. ByteDance had agreed to a deal. TikTok had agreed to a deal. The United States had agreed to a deal. And well, unfortunately, because of Trump's tariffs, that deal fell apart literally at the last minute. In addition, Donald Trump insisted he is not defying the United States Supreme Court in the Abrego Garcia case. He praised Attorney General Pam Bondi for essentially upholding the law in his opinion. Senator John Ossoff, the sole Democrat defending a Senate seat in Georgia, has come out and doubled down on his claim that Donald Trump has committed impeachable offenses. Citing Trump's cryptocurrency venture, Ossoff told CNN, quote, "It appears that the president's business and family are being personally enriched," calling it, quote, "gross misconduct." He added that Trump's actions, quote, "virtually exceed any prior standard for impeachment inquiries," though he stopped short of predicting what a future House of Representatives would do. Maine Governor Janet Mills recently referenced her legal battle with Donald Trump over transgender athletes, saying, quote, "I told him I'd see him in court, and we did, and we won." This is significant because the U.S. Department of Agriculture recently entered into a settlement with the state of Maine over federal funding for Maine schools. The Trump administration threatened to pull federal funding from Maine schools over this trans athlete debate that was being had between the state of Maine and the Trump administration. And well, the state of Maine won. Warren Buffett has announced that he will step down as CEO of Berkshire Hathaway at the end of the year. And Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has publicly confirmed that she turned down a proposal from Donald Trump to deploy American troops into Mexico to combat drug cartels. Sheinbaum firmly rejected Trump's recent offer to put American boots on the ground, emphasizing Mexico's sovereignty and stating, quote, "Our territory is inviolable. Our sovereignty is inviolable. Our sovereignty is not for sale." Folks, that's all the news right now. I'll see you this evening once again. Please consider showing your support by clicking the button below, becoming a paid subscriber today, or supporting my work by sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas. Thanks again.